Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk on every Sunday at noon. And then I post this video up to Facebook. I do the live on Sundays at noon. And then I do this one on Wednesdays. I post this up to Facebook. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. The views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other therapist for that matter. Boom, shakalaka done. I would like to thank my sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp, betterhelp.com/Chris Godinez. They are an online therapy company. They are international. So if you are anywhere in the world and you need to get into a therapist, go to betterhelp.com/Chris Godinez, fill out some questions. They'll place you with a licensed professional therapist, master's level or PhD level. I've been getting really good feedback. People have been telling me that they really love the therapist that they're finding on BetterHelp. So thank you so much. betterhelp.com/Chris Godinez. And of course, if you are in the United States and you want to get into a good therapist, go to betterhelp.com/Chris Godinez. And if it turns out you don't like the therapist, go in and say, hey, don't like the therapist. They will have you fill out some questions and then place you with a different licensed professional therapist in your state. So thank you, betterhelp.com/Chris Godinez. Okay. Aloha. I'm back from Hawaii. It was awesome. Oh my God, I love Hawaii. I want to live there. I want to live there. I want to live there. Everybody's like, oh no, you'll get tired of it. I'm like, oh no. You don't understand. All I want is a beach and a dog and my husband, not in that order. So yeah, I want to live there. I can't afford it, but oh well. All right. So it was great. And thank you guys so much for coming out. It was so nice to see all of you. And thanks for coming and talking and asking your questions. And that's what I like to do. And the next one is going to be in Atlanta on, I think it's November, I want to say 19th. So in November, end of November, before Thanksgiving. So go to chrisgodinez.com. That will have all of the events listed. And so that is the next one. I'm not sure I'm going to do one in December or not, because John and I are talking about getting a dog. So we would like to stay home for a little bit and, have the pup get comfortable with us. So we'll see. We'll see how things go. Hopefully that dog will still be available when we come back. So anyway, so November, I think it's November 19th is going to be Atlanta. So go to chrisgodinez.com, sign up for that if you're in the Atlanta area, and then I will post new places after the holidays probably. So, okay, let's dive into it, shall we? How do I deal with a toxic parent that uses anything and everything, like having helped financially, after all I've done for you, that kind of thing? So abusers, covert narcissists love to play the victim. Love to play the victim. So they will do the whole, oh, you never write, you never call, after all I've done for you, look what I have done for you, that whole thing. And it's like, stop. You either do things of your own free will, no strings attached, or you don't do it. So, but with a covert narcissist, you can bet your bottom bippy that there's always going to be strings attached. Always. They never do anything unless they can call in the favor later, use it against you later, bring it up later. Do you see where I'm going with that? So you definitely want to stop taking things from them. That's number one. It's, I have some people go, but the money. And I'm like, but the strings attached to that money. Do you really want that? Is it worth it? And I would have to say, no, it's not. Because if you're having to always, what I did for you, why aren't you coming to Thanksgiving? Why aren't you coming to Christmas? Because we're coming up on the holidays here, people. So, we've got a little bit of time before Thanksgiving. And so abusers will use whatever they've done for you to try to guilt trip you. Remember, fear, obligation, guilt, to get you to do what they want. And if that's coming out for the holidays or coming over for the holidays or going home for the holidays, everything I've done for you and you can't even come out for Thanksgiving. Oh, please. You're an adult, plan something else. Tell them you're leaving. Tell them you're going away. Tell them you're leaving the country. I don't care, but just don't go. If you don't want to go, don't go. You're under no obligation. There is no reason for you to go do something that you don't want to be doing, and you don't owe them anything. Now, The other thing to consider is too, is if they've given you money, you may want to pay them back. So it's like, okay, we're free and clear, we're done. And of course, they'll still be like oh, I gave you all of this and I did that and blah, 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 blah. So I would say, seriously, anybody who uses fear, obligation, guilt, nope, they're abusive, sorry. Everything I've done for you, that's a guilt trip. No. And what you're going to probably have to do is write a goodbye letter to the guilt. Dear guilt, bleep the bleepity bleep bleep out of bleeping bleep you. I am no longer playing. I am no longer buying your bill of goods. Thank you. I refuse to feel guilty when this was offered to me freely, as in, hey, no, it's no problem. It's yours. And then they turn around and go, oh, after everything I've done for you. No, well, that's strings attached. Either you do it with no strings attached or you don't do it at all. So, that's really the way it needs to be. So what you do to deal with them is you don't buy into the guilt routine. So let's say that they're doing the whole, well, I paid for your college, or I gave you this money for a car, or I did this, or I did that, blah, blah, blah. That's what they do. And, they're expecting you to jump to their tune. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, you're going to be the bad guy. Yeah, they're going to go on a smear campaign. Yeah, they're going to do and say whatever it is that they're going to do and say. You can't control them. All you can do is control you. And really, if you don't want to hang out with them, if they're toxic, if they're abusive, then don't. You're under no obligation. Fear, obligation, guilt, fog. So if they're using the fog, run. Do not walk to the nearest exit. So you just don't allow yourself to be guilt tripped by them. Now, it's going to be mindfulness, thought stopping. So when the guilt pops up, you can go, yeah, I hear you. I see you, guilt. Yeah, you're barking pretty darn loud. And because it's an and world, I am not letting you in. You do not get to come in and have coffee because I know you're going to stay for breakfast. So bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Go right when you find work. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. And so it pops up and you go, there it is. Yeah, I've been trained to feel guilty. No, I'm not going to feel guilty. I refuse. No, thank you. Dear guilt, go pound sand. I'm not playing. You don't get to manipulate me anymore. And is that person going to have whatever emotions they're going to have? Yeah, they are. They're going to be angry. See if that works. They're going to be sad. See if that works. They're going to be manipulative to see if that works. They're going to basically throw whatever they have at the wall to see if it sticks. So make sure it doesn't stick. So basically, fear, obligation, guilt. If they are pulling any of those, it's a manipulation. It's the fog, fear, obligation, guilt, to keep you stuck in their system. So if you don't want to go hang out with them for Thanksgiving, don't go hang out with them for Thanksgiving. And it doesn't matter if they've helped you out financially in the past. Honestly, what I would do is, oh, really? Okay, well, here's that money back. We're done. Even. Bye-bye. And that won't shut them up, though, just to let you know. But at least they can't honestly say that, oh, well, they took the money and never pay me back, blah, 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 blah. So, and that's the thing. It's not a gift if there's strings attached. If there's strings attached, then it's a manipulation. So yeah, there is that. And just don't fall for it. They chose to give it to you. And, okay, that's great. Thank you for helping me out. I really appreciate it. The agreement was that you would help me out and I wouldn't have to pay this back. But now you're holding it over my head. So here's the money back and you don't have anything to hold over my head. Or this was given free and clear and I am not going to be manipulated by you. Sorry. And they're not going to like it. And they're going to do the whole martyr thing, the guilt thing, the victim thing, the blah, blah, blah. That's what they do. So you're just going to have to make yourself immune to their fear, obligation, and guilt and not fall for it. Just because they're calling the tune doesn't mean you have to dance to it. See where I'm going with that? So, okay. So there is that. Oh, not this one again. Okay. I want revenge. I want to treat my abuser the way they treated me. I want revenge so badly. Okay, here's the thing. An eye for an eye makes the entire world blind. You don't want to be like them. You don't. The most beautiful thing is going to your grave not being a narcissist. Seriously, not acting like those jackwagons. Seriously. So, yes, I understand you want revenge. I get it. They're horrible, heinous, awful, terrible, nasty, rotten, vicious villains. They are. And they will never be anything but that. And you cannot fix them. You cannot change them. You cannot encourage them to grow because they're not going to. In the history of ever, a narcissist has never recovered from being a narcissist. And anyone who tells you that they have is selling you a bill of goods. So the thing of it is that we want revenge. Okay, how old are you? How old are you in that moment? How old do you feel when you just ball your hands up and I want revenge? How old are you? Really? And don't tell me I'm an adult. No. That's How old are you emotionally? What's going on? Who wants the revenge? What age range wants the revenge? That's what you got to start looking at. So you will never get revenge on a narcissist. You won't. The only way to get revenge on a narcissist is to go absolutely no contact and gray rock and don't give them what they're looking for. They're looking for that narcissistic supply. They are looking for that version of cocaine for themselves. Do you see where I'm going with that? So they don't have normal emotions like the rest of us do. They don't. They don't feel. They don't feel the same way. They don't love the same way. They don't love. They don't have emotions the way you and I understand emotions. So for them, the revenge game is exactly that. It's a game. It's a, ooh, goody. Oh, they're trying to get revenge on me. Oh, game on. And now they've got all this narcissistic supply and they're plotting what they're going to do to you and you're plotting what you're going to do to them. And it never ends well. Why waste your energy on these jackwagons? The best thing you can do, honestly, oh, how cute. We're done. Bye-bye. Block. Ignore. Do not engage. You know, the best revenge is living well. They cannot stand it. I'm not kidding you. They cannot stand it when we do well. They are not there cheering for us, okay? They're pissed off that we're happy. They are angry that we're surviving without them, that we proved them wrong. Hey, look at that. Not only did I do well with my life and love myself, but, you know, I'm in a good, healthy relationship when you said no one would ever love me. Interesting. Do you see where I'm going? That's the revenge. The revenge is you working on you, you being happy with you living your best life and leaving them in the dust in the rearview mirror because they can't stand being ignored. That drives them crazy when they're being ignored, when they're not being pandered to, looked at, talked to, argued with, etc. So you basically let go of the revenge. Revenge is like picking up two hot stones, intending to throw them at somebody else, and you're the only one getting burned. So let go of revenge. Revenge is a fool's game. Quite literally, only foolish people do the revenge game because it never ends well and it never ends the way you think it's going to. You know, you have these grand plans in your head. Oh, this is how I'm going to do it. And this is how I'm going to get them. And, and it never turns out that way. So you would be much better off to take your energy and put it back on you. Now that you're out of the relationship, now that you're away from them, focus on you. Because you're the only one that you can change. You're not going to change them. They're not going to get it. It's not like you're going to do a revenge on a narcissist and they suddenly have this grand epiphany. Oh, I've been a horrible person my whole life and I'm so remorseful. No, they don't have remorse. They don't have regret. They don't think they've done a single thing wrong in their entire lives. Seriously, they're not going to get it. And I suspect that it's the inner child wanting that person to acknowledge the harm that they did to you. So who damaged you when you were small? Mom? Dad? Who was it? There's something else going on. That need for revenge is driven by the inner child. It's not the adult. The adult doesn't do that. The adults can look at that and go, well, this is silly. This isn't going to end well. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to ignore them and go live my life. But the inner child is the one And that can be anywhere from toddler, baby, on up to teenager and young adult that's like, I want revenge. Well, so what happened to that little kid? Who did you really want revenge on? What's going on? So get to the heart of it. Get to the heart of it. Get with a good trauma therapist and figure out, what is this revenge thing really about? What is this revenge thing really about? Because I can guarantee you it is not about what you think it's about. So work on that. Inner Child Workbook by Catherine Taylor. Inner Child Workbook by Lucia Cappuccioni. The Self-Esteem Workbook, Glenn Schiraldi. The Diseased Please, Harriet Breaker. CPTSD, From Surviving to Thriving, Pete Walker. Those are all great books. And it's so funny because I have people all the time going, oh, well, I haven't done the workbooks. I haven't read any of the books. I haven't. Why are you shooting yourself in the foot? You know, you're telling me you want to get better, and I'm giving you all of the information and all of the books and everything else, but you're not doing it. So what's the fear? What's stopping you from getting the knowledge that will set yourself free? Ooh, just got goosebumps. So knowledge is power. Knowledge is freedom. Once you understand yourself, no one else is ever, listen to me now, believe me later, no one else is ever going to be able to manipulate you. Once you know who you really are, because these abusers have all been only too happy to tell you who you really are. But once you know who you really are, and you've done the work, and you've been working on self-esteem, and you've been working on boundaries, and you've been working on the inner child, once you understand all of that, no one else can own you. No one else can own you. No one else can use the manipulation on you, because you'll see it coming a mile away. You'll be able to sidestep it and say, no, thank you. You know? So do the work. Read the books. Do the workbooks. Work on yourself. Get with a good trauma therapist. Work on all of that. Okay. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing good. Okay. Okay. Oh, when I say no, I get told I'm not a good Christian, but this person refuses to lift a finger for anyone else. WTF. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay. Okay. Communal narcissists. Let's talk. So we talked about covert. Now we're talking about communal. So communal narcissists are the ones who hide behind the scriptures. And it doesn't matter what scriptures. It could be Buddhism. It could be Christianity. It could be New Age. It could be, whatever. They hide behind the ideologies and the scriptures or the tenets or the dogma or whatever to push their agenda. So this whole, you can't say no, you're not a good Christian, and yet they don't lift a finger for anybody else. Interesting. Do as I say, not as I do. Interesting. What does that sound like? Ooh, sounds like a narcissist, right? So actions speak louder than words. Boundaries are important. You can say no to somebody and still be a good person, whether that's Christian or Buddhist or New Age or whatever. It doesn't matter. No is a boundary word. No is my personal boundaries. Okay. The only people, I saw a great meme on this today. I should have posted that to my website. I'll go home and find it. Oh, well, I am home, but I'll go find it. When I say home, I mean out of my office because, anyway, what was I saying? So there was a great meme that said, when people get angry at you for saying no, you have found the boundary where their respect for you ends. And I was like, that's frickin' brilliant. So no is a word that needs to be respected. No is a safe word. No is to keep you safe. It's like not overextending yourself. So with codependency, we have a real bad habit of overextending ourselves, over saying yes, over agreeing to everything. No is a really good way to keep you from doing that. No, I can't do that right now. I'm busy, or no, I've got other plans, or no, this does not work for me. No, I'm not going to go help you move 20 million heavy things. No, that's not happening. Do you see where I'm going with that? And you can say no. Now, they'll try to use the guilt. That's what that was. Oh, well, you're not a good Christian if you don't say yes. Really? I want to hear what Jesus has to say about that, or Buddha, or anybody else. So the point being is, no is an okay word. Absolutely. And that whole thing, and yet they're not lifting a finger. OMG. You know what I'm saying. So, yeah, that's a manipulation. It's a guilt trip. It's a guilt trip. So what you are going to do is, wonder who died and named you God, and then turn around and walk out and never have anything to do with them again. Seriously, they are showing you who they are. They are showing you who they are. Believe them the first time. So when somebody pulls this stuff and they're not getting their way and they start doing guilt tripping stuff, they're showing you who they are. Believe them the first time. Do not have this person in your life. This is not a good person to have in your life. This is somebody who's a hypocrite. This is somebody who is a manipulator. This is somebody who doesn't like your boundary. And that's a huge, huge red flag. So pay attention to that. So, and let them go. And they're communal narcissists. So communal narcissists use religion, any kind of religion. Doesn't matter. You will find them everywhere. You will find them in the guru types, the new age kind of stuff. I am the light in the way and I am the only one that has the answer. If anyone ever says that to you, run. Do not walk to the nearest exit, because let me tell you something. There are lots of paths up to the top of the mountain. Some of them are harder than others. So, anybody who's like, I am the only way to get there and you need to give me all your material possessions and blah, blah. There's still cults out there, guys. These are cult leaders. There are still cults out there, and you've got to be careful. And they masquerade as spiritual leaders, or, I am the light in the way and I know the way and blah, 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 blah. And you need to give me all your money. No, if you're so damn spiritual, what do you need the money for? So do you see where I'm going with that? So, that always boggled my mind. It's like Jim Jones and David Koresh and all of these crazies that are like, oh, it's spiritual, but hand me over all your material possessions. And I'm like, really? So communal narcissists are the ones that use religion. That's what this person is doing. They're showing you who they are. Believe them the first time. Okay. My mother makes excuses for my sister's behavior and never holds her accountable. What can I do to open my mom's eyes? Oof, nothing. You can't. If you've already talked to her about it, and I'm assuming you have already talked to her about it. If the sibling is behaving badly, they're personality disordered in some way, shape, or form, cluster B possibly, and the parent allows them to get away with it, this is the parent trying to assuage their guilt about this kid. And you can bring it to their attention, but I can guarantee you they're not going to do anything about it. They're not. They know what's happening. They're not stupid. I mean, they're stupid on one level, but they're not stupid on another level. So they know it's happening. They know the kid is misbehaving. They know that there's a behavioral issue there. They don't want to deal with it. They would rather allow it and sweep it under the rug and pretend it doesn't exist and everything else. So, in that case, if the mom is not holding that person accountable and this person is being allowed to create chaos and drama every time there is a family gathering, I would say don't go. Just don't go. If this person is going to be there, don't go. Sorry, busy, have a different engagement. I'm not able to come to family dinner, whatever. You don't have to go. And the desire is for the parent to act like a parent and to wake the hell up and be like, hey, sibling over here, knock it off. They're not going to. If they haven't at this point, you guys are adults, they're not going to. They know it's happening. Let me give you a great example. My mom, bless her heart, she knew there was something not right with one of my sisters. And she gave money and finest of everything and, and never stopped. And I this was back when I was young adult or in college. And I said, hey, this is not right. This is, you're not doing this person any favors. They're not going to know how to take care of themselves when you're gone, and what are you doing? And she just got this cutesy little grin on her face, which is when I knew she was in one of her moods. And she was like, I know what I'm doing. And realized her mom was a narcissist and she never got help for it. So then she has a child that's also personality disordered. And then, she's trying to assuage her guilt for this other child. And it's like, oh my God, people. So she knew. She absolutely knew, and she refused to do anything about it. Absolutely refused. She would never, ever stop enabling, ever. To the day she died, she never stopped enabling. And she admitted, she was like, I'm trying to make myself feel better. And I'm like, well, you're not. You're making the situation worse. And she knew, but she wasn't willing to do anything about it because it would mean having to confront the dysfunction and having to call it out and having to say no and having to mean it. And that's really hard for a child of a narcissist to start saying no and mean it, especially in the face of another personality disordered family member. So, yeah, the mom knows, guarantee it, and there's nothing you can do. I mean, you can point at it, it's like, well, this is going on, and here's going to be the consequence. And that's basically what you have to do. It's like the consequence is I'm not going to be around. I'm not going to subject myself to this person's chaos and drama and, no thank you. If I want chaos and drama, I'll turn on the television. It's like, no thank you. So yeah, so that's that. How are we doing on time? Okay, one more question. Are all cluster Bs codependent? Not in the way you think. I've gotten this question quite a few times. So cluster Bs need an audience. They do, because they're dramatic. Especially if you're talking borderline. Borderline histrionic, they need an audience. They need somebody to play to, okay? Narcissists need somebody to play to as well. But narcissists need a victim. They need somebody to feed off of, like a vampire. They need the narcissistic supply. So they're not codependent in the way you're thinking. They're not like, oh, I need somebody, so I'm going to be nice and I'm going to do this and I'm going to never say no and blah, blah, blah. But that's codependency. What a narcissist does is like a shark looking for prey. It is a predator looking for prey. So with the borderline and the histrionic, when they're further down the line, not at traits of, I'm talking about when they've slid into malignant kind of stuff, they need an audience because they get off on the drama. They get off on the chaos, okay? With a narcissist, they get off on the pain and the suffering. They're sadistic. They really are, because they've slid into the dark triad. They're like psychopath, narcissistic, Machiavellian, control freak, okay? And they enjoy inflicting pain on somebody. It makes them feel powerful to watch somebody cry. It makes them feel powerful to watch somebody be hurt. It makes them feel powerful to see somebody's reaction to one of their nasty things that they've just said. So no, they're not codependent, not in the way you're thinking. Codependency is where we put ourselves out to help, to give to, in order to be loved. That's codependency. What a narcissist is doing is they're like a bull shark looking for a prey. They're looking for their next victim. They're looking for their next lunch, is what they're doing. With borderline and histrionic, when they're further down the spectrum, they just need an audience. So there's not that emotional, I need to make sure you're okay, so I'm okay. That's codependency. What they're doing is they're looking for somebody to play to, or they're looking for somebody to feed off of. And that's not codependency either. So it's different, similar, but different. Similar, but different. Okay, guys, this week I am going to be talking about managing your time, because last time we talked about procrastination and why we do that. And so now what I'm going to do is help you guys manage your time. So a lot of times when we've been with narcissistic families, they don't teach us how to manage our time. They yell at us all the time, and we get scared of doing things because we're afraid to do them, because then we'll get yelled at. Again, this goes along with procrastination. So I'm going to talk about how to overcome those thoughts and how to get to a point where you view time management as a pleasure, not a punishment. So we're going to be talking about how to manage your time. So we're going to be talking about time management and all that sort of good stuff. All right, my loves, you guys go have a great week, and I will talk to you on Sunday. Bye.